I'm Tiffany Cole. I'm the new art teacher at Lanier High School. It was kind of crazy how it happened. I found out about the position and I sent an email to Dr. Gresham. And 8 minutes later, I heard from his assistant, and about 2 weeks later, I was hired for the position after interviewing and getting my transcripts together from the University of Georgia and that kind of thing. So it happened really fast, and the transition's been great. It was a challenge. Coming in the middle of the semester, 2/3 into the semester, and getting to know the students. And I've loved that, but it was a challenge because obviously a lot of them were really sad and heartbroken because they loved Mr. Foreman, and I wanted to respect that, of course. And I met him; he's a super nice guy. So coming in and replacing someone that students love so much is a little bit of a challenge, and getting them to trust you and understand that you're on their side and there for them. So I think I've done that. The kids seem to respond well, and their artwork is looking great. Teaching position was at Heard County High School. That was in Heard County, which is in middle Georgia, kind of right next to Alabama. And that was a brand new experience for me. I grew up in Gwinnett County. I went to Parkview High School and graduated from Parkview. So going to a school sort of out in the country, that was a brand new experience for me, but it was wonderful, and I really built an art program there. I was there for a couple years, and then I came to Collins Hill High School, and I taught there for 3 years. And then I had one of my children, and then I came back and taught part-time for a year, and then had my other son, and then ended up staying home with them for a little while. I majored in art education. I didn't know that I was going to be an art teacher when I went to Georgia. I knew I was an art major, but I didn't know that I was going to be an art educator. Actually, my high school art teacher had recommended to me my senior year. She says, you'd be a pretty good art teacher. I was like, no way, I never want to be a teacher. I'd never want to do that. But then when I was at Georgia, the more classes that I took, the biggest thing for me was I didn't have to take a foreign language at the time because they wanted art educators to take as many art classes as possible. And it was a perfect fit. And that was sort of my sign that, I was supposed to be an art teacher, which I love being an art teacher. So I'm really glad that I took that direction. I had some great teachers along the way. Actually, my middle school art teacher, her and I ended up working together at Collins Hill High School. She's still an art teacher in the county. I still talk to her since I've taken this job at Lanier. I've called her. She's come over here. I've come back over to Collins Hill with my art teacher friends over there. So I've consulted with them a lot. So she was a huge influence on me. My father is also very creative, and he's an artist. So my parents, my mom and dad, both very much encouraged me to pursue a life in the arts for sure. Yeah, I've got 2 sons and a husband that love football. So they always talk about football season. They're so excited for football season. I get super excited about art festival season, and that's in the spring, and then there's also art shows in the fall. My very favorite is the Inman Art Festival. That's at the end of April. It's awesome. It's the best art festival in Atlanta. I love it. If you can go, you need to go. It's great. It's a very large show. It's got beautiful artwork. I tend to buy a lot of jewelry and pottery and sculptures and different things when I go there. The American Craft Council show, that's also one of my favorite. That's in March. And that's a show that actually artists have to be juried into. So you'll see all kinds of artwork from weavers to potters to sculptors to jewelry makers. It's a really great show too. Those are my 2 favorite. I don't really have a favorite artist. I think that's the wonderful thing about being an art teacher is I could never decide when I was at Georgia, do I want to be a painting major or a sculpture major or a pottery major or interior design major. As an art teacher, I get to teach all of those things. So for me, it's a perfect fit. As far as favorite artist, I don't have a favorite. I have obviously a bunch that obviously Michelangelo was amazing. And Norman Rockwell, I very much appreciate his work ethic and his creative narrative paintings. Andy Warhol I like for his ingenuity and his cool ideas. But I could go on and on and on and on. But I really love it all. There's no artist that I don't like. I really love it all. As far as my teaching method, obviously creative. You know, we're here to open minds and try new things that we haven't tried before. My favorite thing about being a teacher is when you see that light bulb go off. And a student that had no idea, they might have taken my Visual 1 art class because they needed a fine arts credit, and then they find out that they're really good in art and they fall in love with a subject that they had no idea that they were going to be good at or something that they were interested in. So for me, that's the most exciting thing. Or when a student has an idea for a project and it turns out even better than they even imagined, that is a very, very exciting, fulfilling feeling as a teacher. But as far as my classroom, we work really, really hard. We have a great time while we work. I mean, this is a studio class, so you can get up and move around a little bit. But we work hard, we're very focused. But my job, I feel like, is to push students to be the very best artists that they can be. I'd really like to grow the art department. I'd like to see a lot more art around the school. I'd like to see more displays. I would like to see the students get scholarships to college in art. People need to understand that art is everywhere, from the clothing that you wear to the packaging on your food to the car that you drive. Somebody designed the inside of the car and how that looks. Every magazine that you flip open, an artist has had their hand in it. So art is absolutely everywhere. And students need to understand that you can make an incredibly good living being an artist. Starving artists are lazy artists. Hardworking artists will be successful at anything they do. Actually, being hardworking, you'll be successful at anything that you do.